Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jake from RSP, and today we're going to be talking about qualifying for All-Stars. So it's that time of year again, All-Stars is back. Everyone's going to be trying to qualify, and it gets harder each time. So today we're going to be covering some basic strategies that you can do to qualify. I'll show off the scores that you needed last season every round to get in, and I'll also include one cool little tip that I got to get some extra scores. It involves setting up a big solo for your teammate. We always appreciate a like and a comment telling us if you enjoy this variety content. It lets us know that you guys like it so that we can keep pumping it out. Without further ado though, let's get right into it. First things first, we got to talk about planning. You need to identify who can realistically make it to All-Stars with the least amount of healing, and then also who will have the inventory to go on in All-Stars. Because it's one thing just getting there, but it's a whole other thing getting to finals and then placing high in finals, Basically ruling out the free-to-play traps, This event really isn't for them. It's for the big dudes on your team. That's why they got elite and juniors. But again, we're focusing on majors. So identify who's going there. If they're gonna have an inventory, it's usually gonna be your biggest players. You need to get a time slot that works for them. You guys wanna have a cohesive plan when you go in. You don't wanna just be randomly thinking about how you can qualify. You gotta have like maybe 3 guys that you wanna push, and then keep track of their scores in between rounds as well. You gotta remember where the top 400 cutoff is, and then also mark down their own scores. So now we're getting into assigning roles. So this is just like any other battlefield, right? You got players who are just traps, you got players who are bait, you got people with good defenses that'll sit, you got people that'll go to portals and shit. We just need to really hammer home who's doing what. You need to tell people like, hey, this guy's not as strong, but we're still pushing him for All-Stars. Maybe he'll take Constantinople and a Knights Hall. We'll get into building points in a second. And maybe you got some free-to-play traps that are good at portals, so you send them over there. And then you need to let people know who's going to be setting, who's going to be sitting, people that need to run away from every rally, how many rallies people can take, all stuff like that. You don't want to have people confused during qualifying. So just ahead of time, like maybe a day in advance, get all this shit planned out, let everyone know what they're going to be doing. Just don't stress out, because this is regular. We've all done this. This isn't anyone's first All-Stars, I can imagine. So you just need to chill, do what you're good at. Alright, next up we got buildings. So we'll talk about 3 types of buildings. So first up, we're going to talk about Constantinople. That gives 80 points per minute when you own it, equaling 9,600 points for 2 hours if you had it. Next up would be Knights Hall for 32 points per minute. That would be 3,800 points for 2 hours. And then all of the other buildings are 16 points per minute. And for each of them, if you had them for 2 hours, it'd be 1,900 points. Also, if you reinforce any of these buildings, you'd get 20% of the scores that the owner would. Building points don't count towards alliance ranking. They'll help you get top 400 with personal scores. So dedicating certain buildings to teammates is a great way to get extra scores. Like if you're just mogging your enemy, maybe let them flip Constantinople once and then let your weakest teammate who's gonna go to All-Stars take it back so that they get a lot of the points. When you can, just be camping in buildings, Free points are free points, right? No one's too good to get free points. I do that shit all the time. I love it. For your scores to actually count, your alliance needs to rank in the top 500 in your continent. If you win BOC, you'll get all of your scores. If you lose BOC though, you're only gonna get 60% of your scores. So if you got 100k and you lose, you're only gonna get 60k as an example. So that's why it's so important to win, right? So here's a list of the scores that were needed to get into the top 400 last All-Stars. So for each round. So for C1, it was 52,250. C2 is 52k750. C3 it was 54,500. C4 was 54,000. C5 was 43,500, and C6 was 28,750. And that was per round to get to top 400. Obviously, you're gonna want to score a little bit higher than that to give yourself some breathing room. And every All-Stars that score increases a little bit, so it's gonna be like a couple thousand higher this time, I imagine. All right, let's get into some tips. So first up, I got an example about how to set up a big solo for your teammate. I'll let the clip play in a second, but basically what I'm doing is I'll find a guy that I could rally, I could just one tap and kill, but we're just gonna do a little siege rally on it to kill his siege and his arch, and that should set up a fat solo for one of our guys to get some easy points. So here's the clip.
Yeah, I didn't want to steal that. I want to play teamwork,
Yeah, Sly, I'll siege this guy, and then you can ground solo him. Alright, siege in 3, 2, 1, siege up. You can steal the big clear from death.
You were basically gonna set a Melanoy and then tell him this ground solo back.
I should have.
Pegasus is ripe.
Look at all the ground solos.
Is that running? That was just chasing.
Oh.
Shit, that was
I took 2 billion from.
Oh, you almost got it? Alright, well that was a little cheeky clip. You guys could be able to replicate it too if you wanted to. Alright, moving along. You're gonna want to start quickly whenever you're playing these qualifying rounds. Like right in the sand pit. Just off rip, start rallying, go at it. You only have 2 hours, so you might as well start right away. And that could catch people off guard too, so you could easily get the lead. Alright, next up would be cleaning your plate. So let's say you're winning by a large margin and they still have an island coiner. Just go at them, bro. Keep healing and try to kill everyone that you see. You need to get points. You don't know how tough the next rounds of qualifying are going to be, so if you're in a position where you're winning, take full advantage. Take everything you can. Alright, and finally, a shameless plug. Elevate your game. Go check out our playlist. Go check out our recent videos with the Elevate Your Game title. You're going to pick up some strats there, and, you know, it could make all the difference. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Be on the lookout for another All-Stars video closer to when it actually starts. Appreciate a like and a comment if you guys could, and bye. See you guys.